The idea for The Girl in the Garden came to me during a trip that I took with my parents to Kerala, India, which is in the south of the country, and that's where my family comes from. And I was in the middle of doing a graduate program in creative writing in Ireland, and during the break I went to India, and I was sort of searching around for ideas. I was a little bit at a loss of, or I was a little bit, I'd sort of reached a standstill in terms of what I was writing, and I was looking for new ideas. And during a trip to my father's village, which is a very small rural village in Kerala, I was sitting by myself on the veranda, and the house is surrounded by this very lush forest, and I just started thinking about how it would be such a magical setting for a story. And that got me thinking about the book The Secret Garden, which is one of my favorite novels, and I read it countless times as a child. And I started just thinking about how Mary, the heroine of The Secret Garden, leaves this exotic world in India and is suddenly introduced to this new world in England. And I just kind of started thinking about the reverse of that, and if someone was leaving the world of the West and entering this sort of exotic, mysterious landscape in India. So that was sort of how the idea sort of started forming in my head. And over the course of that visit, everything sort of started to come together. I went to this temple with some of my relatives, and we were walking to the temple, and it was pitch black, and we just had some flashlights, and we were just wandering through the dark with the flashlights, and there were all of these sounds and insects and animals and rustling of leaves, and I just felt very inspired by the atmosphere. And when we were at the temple, one of my cousins drew me aside and pointed out this field with this old stone well, and she told me that the well was haunted by a ghost. And that sort of was the final piece that got the idea really solidified in my head. And I started just thinking a lot about that well and the ghost that haunted it. And from then on, the story just kind of grew. So that's sort of how it developed.